Second move. Last week we took up, so we are focusing our journey on the second step. Normally, I think you are aware of it. I don't know, let me know it. And I do not understand, let me understand it. So, understanding has to be done by intellect. And this intellect goes into the background during the entire day. My master used to say that check yourself. What is your level of seeking? 1 hour of learning and listening, 9 hours of contemplation by your intellect. It doesn't mean that you should leave all the activities of day to day life. No, constantly. The mind should be allowed to return to these principles during the day, whether you are in the business or in relationship. And 9 hours, 1 hour of learning, 9 hours of listening, and then check. Either you practice double the time, means 18 hours, or 27 hours, or 36 hours. That depends on lowest level of your seeker, middle level of your seeker, higher. I'm not, who is the teacher to brand that what level of seeking you have? So you see that this intellect, I do not understand, and I should understand. This is known as manan in Sanskrit, is a bridge between learning and listening and the practice. So, what happens? This contemplation and reflection intensifies your discernment and dispassion. Huh? It intensifies, and the very practice intensifies your six treasures. We have already done it. So, what happens? The very practice removes the garbage from the mind so that what is real self, which is already inside, reflects on the mind, and we reach to the highest state of meditation. I believe you all have understood this part. I'm putting everything logically. That is why last week I referred, one of the great masters says contemplation and reflection is 100 times superior to listening and learning. So I have to make it superior by during the day. And meditation practice is 100 times superior to reflection. What is the result? So there is a specific word in our tradition. We say nirvikalpa samadhi. Buddha says emptiness, nothingness. It is more or less the same, nirvikalpa samadhi. So what happens into that state? The mind is totally empty, where the real self reflects. We are contemplating. So, what happens to the seeker? There are three elements: seeker, text, and the teacher. Text means knowledge, and the teacher. They are all one in the beginning, but seeker perceives them differently. So, what happens in the end? They all are perceived, known as one and only one. It is difficult to digest. Let me give an example. There are many waves in the water. Pick up one wave. We are one wave. And if the wave, by chance conscious, becomes aware, uses the intellect, then what the wave perceives that it is born out of the water. The life of the wave is water. All the activities and the works of the wave is water. All the conflicts of the wave is nothing but the water. Pleasure is water, happiness is water. Did you get it? So we see them differently. When we see them differently, then there is a problem. They are all one. We are part of the existence. How can I separate myself from the existence? If I am a part of the existence, you are part of the existence, all are waves. That is the height of awakening in meditation. So always be ready. Keep your intellect ready to ask the questions. And the way we follow a couple of these sessions with question and answer. So let us, why I learned, I understood that I am not the body. I'm the real self. We, I spoke maybe 100,000 times. But when I start living my life day to day, I feel I am the body. I feel I am the mind. What is the proof? I'm in stress, I'm suffering, I have problem. My master used to say, there is unripe, take avocado. Unripe avocado, you cannot remove the skin. It is very difficult. And when it is ripe, you can remove it easily. Body, real self, separation. How it becomes ripe? By manan, contemplation, and reflection. You cannot physically remove real self from the body. So, what is the tool? Tool is discernment and dispassion are to be done regularly inside your head, whether you are living in relationship with the honey, with anyone, or going to the business, driving, doing anything. What we are doing, we are bringing that meditation in our daily life. I believe you are getting it. Huh? I'm making it simpler. So that is why every master says, I don't know, let me know it. The moment you have a stress, start the contemplation. What is contemplation? Our contemplation in the intellect. Oh, because I did not understand. That's why I have a stress and anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Okay, let me see. Let me look into it. The intellect starts looking at it. It invites the knowledge. It reflects on it. It is gone. My friends, our goal is not to bring an end to the suffering, but awakening to the real self. Are you getting it? So I do not understand, and let me understand. So that is the part contemplation and reflection. Go on asking the question. If the one wave is born out of the water, dies in the water, enters into conflict into the water, seeks the pleasure into the water, what is the conclusion? It is the water and nothing else. Because I, wave, do not realize that it is the water alone. That is why we have a problem, because I separate myself from the entire existence. That will be another topic. Why I separate? Subtle ego. That we will talk separately. Think of it. Think in this way. So we are in this series from the last week. We have started that what exactly is contemplation? What happens in the contemplation? We remove that does not exist. What does not exist? Anxiety, problem, hatred, love, likes and dislikes. They belong to the mind created by the wrong notion because we do not think. So we take it. I like you and I hate you. You are my soulmate and then you are my soulmate. That is how our mind thinks. So that mind thinks with the wrong notion. We do not question soulmate for 20 years and the next day soulmate. How come? Just by one response, one reaction? How it is possible? So when we start thinking in this way through the intellect, what I said, understanding and clarity. Do you still remember? Clarity, classifying, separating, filtering out what is wrong notion in my life. So once we remove that wrong notion in my life, I'm able to see that unripe becomes ripe. And it can be done here and now. I used the word for seekers that it's a living life consciously, deliberately. We use the word deliberate. You wake up in the morning, mind says, bad morning, come on, stop this nonsense. Bad morning. There is no bad morning and good morning. Who says it is your mind? So we allow the intellect to be available there. And let the intellect repeat, sun rises the same way in the morning today also. It is the same sunlight. So what happens? That clarity enters into the mind through the intellect. That is what the manan is. If we do not think, then we continue, we carry on our life days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years, with what? With the likes and dislikes, with the hatred and jealousy, with the duality and a conflict, with anxiety and the stress. They all are wrong notions. Think. You should oppose after you contemplate and reflect, or you can just oppose now and tell me how you oppose it. Prove it. So when you cannot prove it, it means it is a wrong notion. And if it is a wrong notion, let me drop it. The mind will continue to repeat these because of the impressions it lives with. 10 years ago, you abused me, and I still remember. What a crazy mind you have. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. My master used to say, maybe Ashok, if you remember, that the impressions that the mind creates from the world outside should be written on the water so that it comes and goes. And these principles of Eastern wisdom should be written on a stone so that it creates a strong impression. It can never go. When Master says peace is my essential nature, it is my essential nature. Mind why you are in anxiety and stress, why you like and dislike, why you hate and no. We follow the process of discernment and dispassion. You do it for a week and you will see a tremendous progress in meditation. See the manan. I'm reminding you. I don't know, let me know it. I do not understand, let me understand it. Intellect, question what, why, where, when. And then you will discover I have been, my mind has been moving with the likes and dislikes without any reason. Why I am doing this? I'm harming myself. Remember the wave is born out of the water, enters into the conflict because of the water, in the water. Why? The wave considers that I am separate from the water. I'm not the water. I'm a different individual. Same way we think that I'm separate from you, I'm separate from existence. Are you getting it? We are going little deeper. We are separate from our existence. So the moment we feel separation, we have a dual personality. Now we talk of, oh, this guy diagnosed as a split personality. We live with a split personality all the time. So here, that is not the split personality of modern psychology. Here it is of Eastern wisdom. Because the mind continues its stress, and then you are listening the principle, okay, today I feel good. No, you are always good. You are always good. This is what our master says. So, what is the conclusion? There are two parts of any and every meditation or mindfulness. First is the intellect must get the right knowledge. That is most important. You don't get the right knowledge, you practice kundalini, you have hallucinations, and that hallucination is branded as that I reached to the higher state of meditation. Why? Because I have beautiful experiences. How long the experiences will last? I should think of it. Well, we'll take up all those issues also, what happens and what should happen. So, two parts of meditation. The first is clarity is there because, can you answer in your mind? Why? Because clarity must be there. What exactly is the address of Barbara so that I can drive to her house? But if clarity is not there in the intellect and I am practicing, what will happen? Our masters have delved deeply into this journey. Our goal is very high awakening and realization. So, first is that is the word great master Swami Chinmayananda uses. He says the first part of the meditation is seeking. So that seeking has to be by the intellect. It should have a clarity, it should have a right knowledge. Right knowledge is understanding. Understanding is clarity. Clarity is classifying. What is classifying? What I am not. I'm not anxiety, stress, dual. The mind says, no, you are in stress. The intellect says, no. And the second part of the meditation is searching. That searching means the real practice. So every step that I do, it should take me to the next step of my search. That is what modern researches are done. That is why we say it is a research. They don't say it is searching. Our goal is searching. Just think of it. Step by step, you think. During the day, simply pick up one thing. Peace is my essential nature, and continue, let it remain in your mind when you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. Mind says you are in stress, and then you start working instantly internally. Oh, that guy, if he comes in front of me, gives me a lot of stress. Apply discernment and dispassion. Let that guy come. Guy or girl? Why we should always say guy? One master says, it is because of the highest ability, capacity of the intellect, and the intellect is free to observe. It finds out many options to continue liking and disliking or to leave it. The moment you leave it, you are in dispassion. And from the dispassion comes the calmness, all the six treasures. So you are still seeking. And then you do the practice, whatever the past impressions due to the wrong notion and delusion taking place when you practice and you get it up. Remember which level of the seeker you are. My master says 1 hour of learning and listening, 9 hours of contemplation, that we can do during the day internally and followed by the practice. Because of that ability, one master says that because of that ability of the human frame, not the animal frame, because we have the human frame, we have the five sense organs, we have the mind, intellect is free. So the master says the human birth is rare. We don't have a choice to be born as a human being. One thing is clear, we don't have a choice. We did not choose our parents. We did not choose even this human frame. So human frame is rare. Why it is rare? Because I can use the intellect to make a right choice at all the time. Or don't make a choice, continue crying the entire life. We start with crying, we are born with crying. Complete the sentence. Think of it. Contemplate and reflect. So this master says the very first human birth is rare because of this. And it becomes rarer when I start thinking and treating the path of self-discovery. Are you getting it? I'm trying to find out who am I. No, I'm fed up at doing the same thing days and days, weeks and weeks, months and months, and expecting a different result. It is not possible. I want to remain single. How many singles are happy? I want to get married. How many married are happy? We do not think in this direction. No, I have $1 billion. How many billionaires are happy? I don't want to give the same example again and again. See that? So it proves that happiness is somewhere within me. So, what happens when I start thinking in that way? My mind does not run after a thing, an object, for the sake of happiness. I have repeated a couple of times in a different way. But now we are questioning our every move. So, the human frame is the rear. I didn't have a choice. So, the question of ego doesn't arise. It's not a part of ego that I'm greater than living species. It's a fact. Why it is a fact that I'm using the intellect. Second is the freedom. I want a freedom from suffering once and for all. One, and I want to awaken to my real self. That is the objective of meditation. What should I do? From where the knowledge comes? This is what the Eastern wisdom is. This is what the Eastern wisdom is. I have tried to put everything in step by step so that the intellect remains awake. That is the way we should start thinking. Why should I say? Our master promises that if you start thinking in this way, 80% of your problems are gone. Rest 20% will be done by the meditation practice. Because your intellect is clear and it won't allow the mind to go back to the same stuff again and again. Another one thing that is coming to my mind, then we will do the practice. Whatever master says, you should think of it that all the living species, except the human being, cannot discern, separate joy and the sorrow. Only the human being have a mixture of joy and the sorrow. Who recognizes it? Intellect. Apply discernment and dispassion. Separate it, practice it. How can you prove it? Intellect must prove it so that it has a conviction. You can get things done by your pet by a simple bite of a food. Can anyone give you a bite of food and can you do everything that others want? Think of it. You give me a bite of food and you say, follow me. The intellect says, why the hell I should follow you? Where are you taking me? Pet will never say it. Do you see that? This is the power of our intellect. That is in the human frame, which I had no choice to be born as a human being. So the conclusion is that all the living beings live for enjoyment, pleasure. We can discern pleasure is different from me. And once you see that, oh, it is different from me, where the habits will remain. See that? I don't never talk about that I will take care of the addiction and other stuff. No. But if some people come to me for lessons, I said, wait. So The moment they become a seeker, they realize, oh, it is possible. See that, my friends. See that. No living species can work consciously towards the self-discovery except the human being. Are we using that power given to us by the existence or not? If we are not using, we will continue to suffer. There is no possibility. There is no other way. If there is any other way, tell me. We have already done it. Huh? What we have done? We have already understood. I am single. Why? Because I want to be happy. How many singles are happy? I want to marry to be happy. How many married are happy? I want to earn this much, then I will be happy. How many people are happy? We don't see this. So why we don't see it? Because we don't apply the intellect, we don't do the discernment, we don't do the dispassion, and then we continue to suffer in our day-to-day life. Think of it. Ask as many questions as possible. We are into the second stage of contemplation with the simple and easy principles. And when you follow that, pick up only one aspect, that peace is my nature, and continue to live deliberately, keeping that knowledge. Peace is my essential nature. When the mind brings the anxiety and the stress, question it. Have a discernment and dispassion. See, check it, write to me, and see what happens. That is all for today. Let us start our practice now.